Okay, good morning. How's everybody? Now Trump is sending the Texas and the California Guard to Portland. Some of them are already there. Like I say, I'm not sure that's 100% legal for the purpose. I know he can move National Guard around. I'm pretty sure he can, but for the reasons that he's doing it, I don't think they're legal. Because this is, whatever the reason is, it's his opinion this reason exists, and even though it doesn't exist. If they continue to allow this, we will eventually see what Trump will get what he wants, which is violence, and then he can do what the hell he wants with everybody, you know? That's what his basic premise is. That's what he's working on doing, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But I can't, I wish I could say I can't see it happening, but I can. You know, it's just a horrible situation. And now, what's her name is saying that ISIS will be all over the Super Bowl. There again, it is creating a situation where violence could ensue. You're taking some of the most passionate people in the world, football fans, and you're going to have ICE agents questioning their citizenship. That's a absolute, I mean, you could see that. And then if something interrupts the Super Bowl for some reason and they can't continue, then he's got 1 billion people wanting to cut his throat. You know, I mean, it won't be some isolated assassin out there. It'll be the American public will want him hung in effigy, and not in effigy either. He's a treasonous bastard, and eventually that'll come out. I think he's going to end up a lot like Hitler did, dead before he can be put in jail. Unfortunately, you know. But I don't know whether it'll be by his own hand. I think he's too much of a misogynist or what's it, narcissist to kill himself. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. But what can I tell you? Now, a little bit about politics. Are you seeing what's going on? You've got Newsom out there gerrymandering the California political map. Abbott did it in Texas already. Other governors are trying to do it, and they're not pulling any punches. They're doing it for political reasons. They're doing it to get more of their particular party in power. I don't think that's going to make a lot of difference. By the time they get around to that election, Trump will either have canceled the election, or he will have put enough laws into position that they can't do anything about it. You know, I mean, you have to stop Trump now. And when you say, and I say, you have to stop the Republican Party now, not just Trump. And people go around and saying to me, well, once we get rid of Trump, we'll be all right. No, we won't, because we'll have J.D. Vance. Okay? So you use the 23rd Amendment. Okay, we got rid of Trump. Now let's get some things that no. You got J.D. Vance, who's dumber than Trump, even though he's a very intellectual person. When it comes to how to deal with other people, he's dumb. So he'll listen to what's his name? Trump's chief of staff. He'll appoint him as chief of staff. And then you'll have the same situation with a different puppet. Same puppet master, it's just a different puppet. That's what I don't think the American public understands. This isn't a question of just removing Trump. We don't have a authoritarian regime yet. We have a democratically elected president, and there is a succession. And in that succession are all people loyal to Trump. So you could put Trump in the deepest hole on the planet, and you still got these idiots that are going to go out and try to do what he started because they think that way. you know. And now it'll be advanced as being called Hitler, you know. He looks a little bit like a young Hitler too, you know. But that's what's coming, and I don't know if anybody out there is ready for that, you know. Let's see. What else? I don't know what else to talk about, really. It gets depressing after a while talking about this. My Giants play the Eagles tonight, or tomorrow night, rather. That's just a joke, okay? The Eagles don't usually lose 2 games in a row, and the Giants, I'm sorry, are as talented as much as they have improved, they are not in the same caliber. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Eagles dressing room between Saquon Barkley and the coach staff and whatnot. So maybe there's an opportunity there, because without Barkley, they are a different team. They become more one-dimensional, and we'll just have to see how that plays out. You know, I'm not giving the Giants much hope tonight, folks. I'm sorry. That's just the way tomorrow night. I'm sorry. I just don't give them enough, you know, leeway. And now people are asking me, why don't you talk about baseball? Because I don't like baseball. I've never been a big baseball fan. I was never any good at the game myself. I just, you know, wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to do when I played, which was, you know, be a pitcher, but they couldn't get me to do that, so, you know, I couldn't get enough practice, so I was never very accurate, but I had a couple of weird pitches in there anyhow. But anyhow, this is, you know, I was never a super athlete when I was a child. Football, you don't have to be a super athlete to excel at a position. You just have to be put in a position where what abilities you do have are attributes. Now, when you get to the higher the level you go in the game, the more difficult being a football athlete becomes. The more skill that's involved in it, you know. But that's just the way things work out, you know. But I don't know, you know, you can't. I'm reading this stuff about Saquon Barkley from the Philly papers on YouTube, and I'm not sure that's exactly what's going to happen, you know. That could be a lot of misleading information being handed out around there, you know. You never know. That's just life. Everybody lies. If it suits their purpose, everybody will lie to you, you know. I'm waiting now for the guy to show up to pick Lucy up to take her to the vet, not the vet, the beauty salon. Wow. But I'm also doing some repair work here to a pen of mine. It's a Statue of Liberty pen I bought at the Statue of Liberty. So anyhow, I don't see a change in the way things are done just because you get rid of Donald Trump. And that's the... See, people are already thinking we're in a... that we're in a totalitarian situation, and we're not. You know, that's the problem. We're not there yet. So, you can't just remove one person and hope things will change. You know, there's so much shit that goes on in the background that people don't know about. You know, they think they know about it, and they don't know about it. What the fuck is going on here? But getting rid of Trump won't solve your problem. And people, and he does, that's why he's out there being an asshole, and the whole focus is on him. You know, and he's saying, well, you know, what are you guys going to do? You can't do shit. You want to get rid of me, but you can't get rid of me, you know? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But I don't think anybody else does, but I do know that. You cannot just get rid of Donald and expect everything to go back to the way it was. It's just not going to happen. You know, will you get rid of certain people in the cabinet? Quite possibly, but it would appear that Vance and Hegseth have a bond. You know, and Vance is very easily influenced by Musk, so Musk will be back in politics again. So you actually, in order for, on a political level, you need a purge. And then you need strong leadership that's willing to go to the mats, as they say, you know. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do anything, and it's just going to be a horrible situation. But again, we have to wait and see in that situation. I don't see a lot of. I see Trump looking very old and very tired. And that's something that happens to all presidents. I mean, I watched Obama change because you can't do exactly what you want to, and the pressure upon you is tremendous. And Trump's pressure is coming from his money people, because if he doesn't do what they want, his money goes away. You know? And the deals that he's made, the meme coins and all that stuff, that's going to go away. So his money's got to come from political support groups like the Super PAC, which allows him to do whatever he wants with the money. And he's ripping the country off. I mean, everybody should know that he's stealing from you. If you don't think that's what's going on, then you're dumber than I think you are. You know, I'm not smarter than I think I am. I'm dumber than I think I am. But you know, the rest of the country's in worse shape than I am. This is just, you know, crazy shit. And nothing like this has ever happened in the country. I mean, you go back to Tricky Dick. Tricky Dick was a specific incident. Okay? He was impeached for a specific incident. The cover-up of the hotel break-in. Okay? That was basically what he was impeached for. Aiding and abetting a criminal action. But it was a specific incident that brought him down. Trump has 9,000 different incidences that could bring him down. And if you really want to bring him down, you have to find one particular thing that people find outrageous and go after it. Then you'll be able to impeach him. Then you'll be able to put him in jail. You go after him for this because, well, he upset, you know, he cursed Taylor Swift. Okay, so you got, 100 million people, Taylor Swift fans or whatever it is, and they say, you know, we got to do this. No, half of those people don't vote and aren't old enough to vote. So that they're not a political fact group. You need a central issue. And if you find that issue that appeals to everybody, and it has to involve more than Donald Trump, it has to involve the entire Republican administration, all right, so that you can get rid of them all. Just because you put Vance in charge, you're not going to get rid of the incompetency in the cabinet. You're not making the country any stronger. You're making the country a lot weaker. That's the part people don't understand. You know. So anyhow, hey, listen. I know I fucked up your Wednesday, but that's life. Okay. Mine's screwed up. Yours is going to be screwed up. That's the way it works, folks. Shit runs downhill, and right now I'm sitting higher than you are. Okay, that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe if you like it. Comment, you know, you're an asshole, something like that. That's fine with me, you know. I don't get upset about things like that. Please subscribe. I'll be doing a couple of things to try and improve my ability to get subscription holders, but we'll see if that works out. In the meantime, everybody, take it easy, have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.